Okay, we're recording. So welcome officially to the call. My name is Eric Johnson, creator and CEO of Teamzy. I'm excited to be with all of you this evening. And thank you, Cora, for setting it up. And tonight, what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you, I'll show you how to set up Teamzy. I'm going to show you the best practices for crushing a power hour in Teamzy. Okay, all the workflows and everything. Before I get there, though, first, I'm going to teach you a little bit about relationship marketing, which is the system and philosophy Teamzy is built upon. So once you kind of understand some of those principles, it'll make a lot more sense what we're trying to do in the application. Make sense? And then I'll hang out. If you have questions, we'll do an open Q&A. Any questions you have, I'll be happy to hang out and answer for you guys. Sound good? Okay, now I'm going to keep you muted. However, you are, you're all grown-ups and you have the freedom to unmute yourselves if the spirit moves you. Okay, but just keep in mind, we will do Q&A at the end. Okay. So let's see here. I've got about 600 windows open. Didn't plan that out very well. Okay, you guys see that presentation screen okay? All right, and it's clear there's no pop-ups or anything messing with it. Okay, perfect. So here's what I want to talk to you about: how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. Just a little background for those of you who haven't met me. Excuse me. My background, my career background is as a business coach and consultant. I've been teaching people how to build relationships-based businesses for 20 years now, which is amazing. I've got a gray hair for each one of those years, maybe 10 for each one of those years. And for the past 5 years, I've been working a lot with network marketers. And it's kind of a funny story. I fell into network marketing myself. What an incredible opportunity. Do you guys agree? I mean, you can start your own business with basically zero investment. I thought, what a great thing. Now, just to kind of give you some background, I was working as a consultant for a large coaching company. So I was an employee and I loved my job. It was great. It was great. Absolutely loved it. The problem was that I was always working, and I have this amazing family. Here's a shot of them. My kids were growing up and I honestly just never really saw them. This was a major problem for me because I had achieved everything I set out to achieve. I had a great job. I had a great family. We made good income, but I never saw my kids. And I thought, they're going to be grown before I know it. And so I was really looking for something that would give me some flexibility to be with my family. The other piece of the puzzle was that I was stuck where there was no more growth, and I really wanted some more income. Anybody wants more income? Is anybody looking for that? Yeah. Me too. I wanted a little bit more income. And so I just didn't know what to do because my career was I was kind of at the top of my career, and that was it. So network marketing, what an amazing opportunity to start something on the side. So that's what I did. Now, but here was my challenge. How am I going to fit more into my schedule? Can anyone relate to that? So I started looking for, as a business consultant, I had an idea of exactly what I needed to do to build my business. It's the same principles I've been teaching people for 20 years. The problem was I didn't have any tools to leverage my time, and I needed some sort of technology tools to leverage my time. And in our industry, there just wasn't anything. Those of you who've been around for a few years, you know that. That's why you're here talking to me about Teamzy tonight. So long story short, I talked to some people smarter than me. We built Teamzy. I knew if I needed it, other people needed it. And it has been kind of a crazy ride for the past 5 years since we launched Teamzy. So just to give you guys kind of an update on what's happened, we've had more than 150,000 network marketers use Teamzy in the last 5 years. And also, just to let you guys know, Xyngular users are getting crazy results. You know what? I can't even see them. Hold on. I can't even see the slide because your faces were there, because I know these numbers are much higher than our other networks. 36 new customers and 14 new recruits over 90 days. That is crazy. Have you guys felt some of those growing pains in this team? Yeah, and I know when we introduced Teamzy last year, it just happened to be good timing that you guys were exploding and everyone was using Teamzy and it got crazy, right? And I told Curtis, I said, you can't blame us for running out of product, though I will say one of my more proud moments is the fact that you guys are running out of product because everybody's selling so well. That's great. Okay. So there's some ideas on the results. For those of you who are just checking out Teamzy, you're going to be excited about this. So let's talk about relationship marketing. What is relationship marketing? First off, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. Okay, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It's not some abstract feel-good concept. We're not going to sing Kumbaya at the end of this training tonight, though. If you guys really want to, I mean, I can do at least the chorus. This is a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. Okay, it's a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next, which means everybody can do it, and it's so easy to duplicate. Does it make sense? But I want you to understand right here on this first slide, it's about putting the people first. And that is kind of flipping on its head what most people perceive network marketing as. They see this as a way to kind of like manipulate people into doing stuff they don't want to do, or people have like this bad reputation for it. We're going to put people first, and I'll explain to you why that's so important. Next principle here is that relationship marketing is a lead generation system, That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. I'll go even farther and say it is the most effective lead generation system. It is the most effective lead generation system. And it happens to be fun. But I want you guys to shift your mindset, because you are not salespeople representing Xyngular. You are business owners. Does this make sense? I mean, we're all salespeople to some extent, but you are business owners. And the business owner's first job is to determine which lead generation system to use in the business. Okay, because why is that so important? Because your business is lead generation. You are as the owner of the business, your job is to generate leads for the business. It's the most important thing. Make sense? Just a mindset shift. Next principle, developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. So our job is to generate leads and develop and deepen relationships. So let me just sum this up for you so it's very simple, because it sounds real businessy, right? We need to meet people and build relationships with them. That's how we build our business. That is the fundamental thing we're going to be doing, is meeting people and building relationships and going deeper with the people we already know. And if you can focus on that, you're going to have a huge business. Now, there's a few little things in the system. You need to systemize that. It can't just be, you can't just have the philosophy. You got to have the system. We'll get into that. But the relationships are hugely important, more important than a sale or a recruit, because a relationship can become an advocate. A relationship can become an advocate. We turn our relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. This is a really important piece, and I hope you guys are taking notes, because our business looks at prospects as yeses or nos, true? And there's something bigger than a yes. And there's something big that lurks behind a no, and that's an advocate. An advocate is somebody who's excited about your mission and wants to plug people in to your business because they love how you're helping people. And advocates are the key to building this business. People who are fired up about what you do, and when they come up against somebody who has the problem you solve, they say, you need to talk to Cora. You need to talk to Shelly. Does this make sense? Advocates are the key to this business. Somebody can say no to Xyngular and still be your advocate. That's why we focus on relationships. And I will tell you guys this. Sorry, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but this is a big deal. I expect everybody I invest in to be my advocate. I just assume it will be, because my job is to love people and to help them and to lift them up and to bring them value. I'm assuming by the end of this call, all of you will be my advocate. You guys will be like, that guy from Teamzy was awesome. That training was great. You guys should check out Teamzy. I'm going to have that positive assumption you're going to be my advocate, even if you don't sign up for Teamzy. You guys should have the same confidence when you're talking to people, when you're connecting with people. Maybe they don't have a problem that's going to be solved by Xyngular today, but they will be my advocate. Does this make sense? Over time, I will get them. There's no escaping me. All right. Next thing, relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. And if you're going to be focused on building relationships, you can never violate trust. You can't do anything disingenuous, even mildly disingenuous. You can't trick people, manipulate them. This network marketing has traditionally been done by the switcheroo. Right? The switcheroo. It was, hey, let's have coffee and reconnect. And then the 3-ring binder comes out with the business plan, right? It's like, hey, I thought we were having coffee. Or come over to my house. We're having some friends over, and they come over and it's a product party. This has been, the switcheroo has been, everyone's looking for it. They're waiting for the switcheroo. Like that. Can't do that with relationship marketing. We need to be authentic upfront, let people know what's going on. The new switcheroo is the social media switcheroo. Oh, what do? I empower women to find their inner beauty and strength. And it's like, oh, you sell Xyngular. Why don't you just say that, right? So why don't you just say that? So here's what I want you guys to know. We're going to talk about being authentic, being upfront, being real. And by the way, it works better. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Now, here's the good news. When people trust you, it's fun. When they trust you, it's fun because you don't have to convince people. You don't have to sell people. You get right to helping them, which is why we're here, right? You get right to helping them when you've built trust. Also, trust removes, my favorite part, trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. You know those icky salespeople? How many of you are worried about being seen as the icky salesperson? That's me too. Trust removes the ickiness, no ickiness. And you get to go for yes. Instead of this go for no, the idea that people say no and then they're over for you. No, we're going for yes. We're building up relationships over time. Does it make sense? Yeah. Look, if you guys met my beautiful wife, Lisa, and asked her how many times she told me no, thank God I wasn't going for no, right? I didn't want to play a numbers game. I just wanted that one. Eventually she became my advocate. Do you see how it works? Yes. Okay. Next. So how do you build trust? How do you build trust? There's actually 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Let me go through these really quickly and then I'll explain them to you. And then we'll dive into Teamzy. So real quick, number 1 is chemistry. Okay. Number 1 is chemistry. Number 2 is character. Number 3 is competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. These are the essential ingredients to building trust. Okay, so let's break these out. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to, right? It's about building a connection with someone. So it's important because people want to do business with friends. That's why our business is so amazing. And so your first job is to build rapport and find a connection. Ask questions, find out what you have in common. Build chemistry. Make sense? Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. I want you to notice something about this. Some of you guys have heard me talk about this. You don't actually have character. Character is something you do. It's not something you have. We think of it as something we have, like, oh, I'm a person of good character. You know, I've done mostly good things in my life. It doesn't matter what you've done. It matters what you're doing. And so we need to constantly demonstrate care for others if we want them to understand our character. And this is everything. This is 24/7. This is the bedrock of your marketing plan, is your character. How are you caring for others? It comes down to how you treat people, how you talk to people, how you post on social media. Is it about your audience or is it just about you? How you drive your car, right? Are you a maniac or are you considerate of others? Do you return the shopping cart in the Target parking lot? Or do you leave it out in the middle of the parking lot? These are little things, but they matter. Okay, that one's just maybe a pet peeve, but I'm trying to eventually train everyone to return the carts. But character is important, and people want to do business with someone whose character they trust. Does it make sense? It's huge. And just real quick on this, the last piece of this, that you're relatable. This is important for those of you who have built huge businesses and you're very successful, and people are starting to think you don't remember what it's like to have your feet on the ground. It's important that you stay relatable. It's important that you keep telling the same story. It's important that they keep knowing what you did in the beginning and how you struggled and why you came to the business. And we have to stay in our roots so that they remain relatable. Does this make sense? I have a good friend of mine in the business who was very ill. She had like an autoimmune disorder that's just sucked all the life out of her. And she was a career military officer, and she had to retire from the military early because she could not go to work. And when she got into the business, she got into a nutritional company and basically restored her health. And she is like Wonder Woman. I mean, she's just strong and vibrant and healthy. And I had no idea that she had struggled with her health. Does it make sense? I had no idea. And when I found out, I said, you need to be telling the story every day. She goes, what? That's not me. I'm past that. I'm healed. And I'm like, that is your story. That is your relatable character. That is the struggle of building this business and what these products have done for you. You need to tell that story every day. And so some of you may feel like it is hubris or it's not humble to do that, but that's how you're going to connect and help people. Does it make sense? Okay. Number 3, competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Okay. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. In other words, why should I use you when there's all these amazing people, right? I got a bunch of you on this call. Which one shall I choose? Who's going to be my rep? I need to know that you know what you're doing. Can you help me solve my problem? Right? If I talk to you and tell you my problem, can you help me solve my problem? Do you understand how the products work? Do you understand why they work? Do you have stories to tell me of somebody like me that used them? Do you know what's in them? Do you know why what's in them matters? Do you know where it's manufactured? Do you know how it's manufactured? Can you tell me all these things? Does this make sense? So competence, professional competence is important, especially when it feels like everyone and their cousin is buying a distributorship. I want to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. The next piece of this is the business person part is, why should I join your team? So the first piece is, why should I be your customer? The second piece, why should I join your team? Can you mentor me to be successful? So let me just kind of give you just a quick tip on this, you guys. If you're new, your job is to learn, be a sponge, learn, right? Learn about the products, learn stories from your team members that you can share, right? Obviously you can't make claims, but you can tell stories all day long. And learn stories, learn from your upline, learn from your sideline, learn from corporate trainings, whatever you can absorb, right? And learn. But the most important thing is to be real and don't pretend to be something you're not. So when you're new and you want people to join your team, what you need to do is you need to talk about your team. You need to tell them about your upline. You need to tell them about the support and the training they're going to receive when they join you. They no trust probably that you can mentor them because you haven't done anything yet, but let them know together we're going to plug into this incredible organization. Does this make sense? So leaders, lend your competence downline, and new people, lean on the competence of your leaders. Okay. But it is important because people need to know they're joining a championship team. I had a mentor who used to talk about this. He said, when you have a championship team and the rookie joins the team, the rookie's never played a minute for that team. But as soon as they put the jersey on, they're now a champion. Why? Because they joined a championship team. Does this make sense? And so that's how we need to describe it to people as you're talking to them. So real quick on these, chemistry, character, and competence, there's a principle that underlies these that's really important. I'm going to share it with you, and then we'll jump on number 4. The principle is this. When somebody's considering doing business with you, they only care about 3 things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now think about this for a second, because this is really powerful. If they believe it's a yes for all 3, you have an advocate. This is somebody who will go out of their way to talk about your business with other people. If they think that one of these is a no, they will not do business with you. Right? Now think about companies you do business with or people you do business with. If one of these is a no, you won't do business with them. And you'll likely tell other people not to do business with them. Right? Even if you don't know them, you'll go on Amazon and say, don't do business with this person or whatever, right? So if they're not sure, like I hope it's a yes, but I don't know for sure, they'll raise objections. Do you ever get objections? You guys get objections in business? Yes? No? Yeah, objections are normal and natural. What that means is you haven't built the relationship enough yet for them to know that these 3 things are yes. Does it make sense? Somebody says, oh, I saw that you have this chemical in your protein shake. That is not about the chemical in the protein shake. It's about these 3 questions. Make sense? And that's okay, because your job as a professional, you guys will learn how to overcome objections. Help people through those questions so that you can get to helping them, but understand that they come from the fact that the relationship is not built. We need to continue building trust, which is great. So if they do become a customer or join the team, continue investing in that relationship over time so that you can build that trust. Make sense? Okay. Number 4 is consistency. This is the part that's no fun. You actually have to do work. Dang it. Eric, I love everything you say, except for the part where I have to work at it every day. You got to be consistent. There's no way to be successful without being consistent, right? You can't binge on your business once a month. You got to be consistent. Consistency also happens to be the best way to build trust, because nobody trusts somebody who says, trust me. They trust somebody who they see is trustworthy over time, right? Consistency is how we get cousin Sally to trust us, even though she's seen our pants on backwards. Now you're a business tycoon. Yeah, right. So it might take a little while to build that trust, right? Are you guys with me? All right. I don't actually have a cousin Sally. His first name that came to mind. Oh, actually, wait, look, I got Sally on the screen. Maybe that's why. Maybe Sally, you embedded your name in my subconscious right there. Consistency is how we build trust. I also love the fact that this principle, which is that people respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. Beyond creating trust by being consistent, people are drawn to you when you're consistent. They're attracted to you because it's a hard thing to do, and they respect it. Does this make sense? So by being consistent, not only will you be successful, people will trust you, and people will want to join you because it's impressive. How many of you guys at this stage, you love everything to do with this team? Like when you guys get together, you go to a conference, it's like so fun. Why is that? Think about it. It's because you've got a group of people working together towards a common goal, trying to be consistent, trying to do similar things, right? It's fun to be around. So this is an important piece. Consistency helps you. It helps draw people to you, and it helps build your team. It's kind of like an all-around win. All right, so let's talk about consistency really quick before I jump into Teamzy, because this is kind of the key to everything. How many of you, actually, let me stop the share so I can see your faces. I know a lot of you still have cameras on. Pop them on real quick. How many of you are consistent products of your product? You love Xyngular, use the products. It's part of your lifestyle. Okay, good. Just about everybody's putting their hands up, which is great. You've got it, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. I actually had somebody at one time message me and said, you know, my business has been kind of plateaued for a while. Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that I'm not using the products? Like, really? Yeah, probably. All right. So anyways, preaching to the choir. Let's talk about sharing. How many of you guys, how many of you are active on social media, sharing your journey, letting people know what you're doing, and you're out there doing it? Okay. So a lot of hands, not as many hands. This is important because very few businesses work in secret, right? You don't get a lot of business in secret. I mean, it works for some, but most businesses, you need to actually tell people you're doing it. So that's important to be consistent. But now this is the real checkup from the neck up, as Zig Ziglar used to say. Let's talk about staying in contact with people. How many of you are consistently connecting with people that you know? You're consistent with your relationships. Okay, good. Bunch of hands. Wait, keep your hands up. How many of you with your hands up are already using Teamzy? All right, so that's kind of an unfair question, isn't it? Almost all the hands stayed up. It's all good though. This is the important piece, is staying in touch with people. Quick principle here, a couple slides, and I'll jump back out. Keep your cameras on though, because I'm going to come back to you in a second. Are you as consistent about relationships? Are you as consistent with reaching out to people as you are about posting on social media? This is the big question, because if you want to build relationships, which is the key to the business, you have to understand that relationship building is a contact sport, which means you have to be in regular contact with people if you want to have relationships with them. I know your time is scarce and that's hard to do, which is why we built Teamzy. It makes it so easy to do this, and I'll show that to you in a second, okay? But I want you to get this principle before we jump into Teamzy, and that is that investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. In fact, you know what? I want to edit this right now because there's a word missing. Investing time and connecting personally with people. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Get that down because it's important. Now I'm just going to illustrate this for you. Investing time, connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Now, real quick. How many of you have ever received a card or a letter that had a handwritten message from someone you love? And when you read that note, it was like, oh, warm oil on the heart, right? Now, everyone's thinking of one. If there's anyone who can't think of an example of a time you got a card like that, please put your address in the chat so we can all write you a card, because we need to change that right now. We need to make sure you get a good one. If you write somebody a card and put a little bit of your heart into it, they keep it forever, don't they? How many of you have kept, you were thinking about the card, how many of you still have it? You've kept it. All right, keep your hands up if you have a stash of cards and letters somewhere that you can't bear to part with. Yeah, and it starts getting growing, right? Yeah, it's amazing. And the other thing about this that blows my mind is that when we pass away, it's often the most treasured thing we leave behind, are cards and letters. I bet some of you have cards or letters from loved ones who've passed on that you've kept. Isn't that incredible? The lingering impact it has. Now, so you've got that in your mind. Now, here's another example. This is a happy birthday postcard. You ever get one of these? This one's from my life insurance salesperson. He sends me a card once a year, somewhere within 25 days of my birthday. I think it's just like the September people get mailed out on the 1st, right? I get this card. It's happy birthday. Do you get these? Is it nice to get? Yeah. Brenda gave me a one arm shrug, just one shoulder. That's all I got. Just one shoulder shrug, I guess. We don't keep these though, do we? Do we keep these? No, these get tossed. Why is this not as valuable as a handwritten card? Well, so let's go back to the principle. The only way to deepen a relationship is to invest time and connect personally with someone. This requires no investment of time, and we know it. So it has no value. Does this make sense? I mean, he spent money on it, but he invested no time. And it's not personal. This is a bulk mail out. It does not even have my name on it, by the way. It just says, wishing you all the best. And then the address, this is the best part. The address says Johnson. That's pretty impersonal, isn't it? It says Johnson, and then it has my address. It doesn't even have my name there. Not personal, no investment of time. We do not value this. So how do we invest time in people and make it personal so that we can really impact them and make a difference in their day? Do we have time to write cards all day to everybody in your, probably not. Though if you can ever think of a reason to write a card to somebody, you should do it, because they'll keep it forever. Okay, they'll keep it forever. And I have some ideas for things you can write in cards in Teamzy, by the way. But even just sending somebody a message on Messenger or text, just a quick message, it takes a few seconds of time, but it's still time invested. It's personal and it makes a big impact. Does this make sense? And so we've engineered Teamzy so that you can make these little impacts in people's day very efficiently and effectively. We've made it super easy. You could super easy connect with 20 people a day in Teamzy in less than an hour. Okay, super easy. So I'm going to show you that in a second, but I wanted you to get this concept. There's a lot of people out there trying to sell you a marketing system. It's called automated marketing. Have you heard that term, automated marketing? Doesn't it sound so attractive? You don't have to do anything. It just works. You just pay the money and it does it. Yeah, and it feels just like this when people get it. Right? No investment of time, not personal. You got it? Okay, good. So let's dive in back here real quick. So make sure if you didn't get it before, you can take a quick screenshot if you guys want, if you didn't write it down. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay. So this is all great. Philosophically, I can tell you guys are into it. Only a couple of you are asleep, which is great. You need, no, I'm just kidding. You're not asleep, right? I can't tell. Some of you turned off your camera so you could snooze. It's all good though. You got to have a system. Just having philosophy is not enough. You have to have a system to follow. It helps you stay on track and helps you to duplicate this. You need a way to stay in contact with all your relationships, right? Effectively and efficiently. You need to know when you're going to contact people so that you're not doing what I used to do, is hunting through my Facebook friends list, wondering who I should reach out to, right? Know what you're going to say. Otherwise, you end up staring at your screen for too long, stuck in analysis paralysis, and then your hour's up and you message 2 people. Anybody guilty of that ever? I've been guilty of that too. Know what you're going to say so you can get things moving and make sure nobody falls through the cracks. Make sure nobody falls through the cracks. This is huge. All right. So let's dive out and jump into Teamzy, because that is really what we're here to look at. So let's see here. Which screen is it going to be on? Okay. So first off, I want you guys to know, if you're not already using Teamzy, go to teamzy.com/Xyngular, teamzy.com/Xyngular, and start a free trial. Okay. So you can try it out for free, no credit card required. And once you've logged into that free trial, this is the first page you're going to see. This is called the Setup Wizard. Anybody out there that's not super techie? Like me? Okay, that's me. I'm not super techie. I love technology. I just don't want to have to figure it out. Does it make sense? And I decided that I would build software when I got my first iPhone. So I was like, wow, this is so cool. There's big buttons I can press and I don't have to think. So that's when we started working on this stuff. So this is designed for people like you and me who are not super techie. It's very easy to set up. So we're going to go through this little video for me. You'll skip that. We'll go to the next thing. So the first thing I want you to look at here on setup is setting an income goal. What is your income goal? In other words, how much money would you like to be earning per year, a year in the future, a year from now? So whatever your goal is, you're going to slide this little slider to your goal. Now, I've got mine set at 150,000 because that was the salary I was trying to replace so I could be home with my family. Right? 150,000. So at 150,000, I need to reach out to 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 distributors each day. Okay. Which is like 20 minutes work, honestly. I'll show you how easy that is in a second. So whatever your goal is, maybe your goal is 100. So you're going to do a little bit less. Maybe your goal is a little bit more. Now, just a quick tip on this. If you're already making significant income from your business, you're going to set this goal to be the difference you want to see. So if you're making 100,000 this year and next year you want to be making 150,000, you don't want to set your goal for 150,000. You want to set it for 50,000. Does this make sense? So a good friend of mine who has a team, he's got about 48,000 people on the team. He goes, Eric, something's wrong with my Teamzy. It says I need to talk to 3,800 people a day. I said, what is your income goal? And he told me, I said, wow. I said, what's your income now? And then I realized he was just looking to increase it by 100,000. So I was like, oh, let's put it down to 100,000. So you're going to go from 3,800 a day to 13. He was like, oh, that's way better. Does this make sense? Okay. All right. So actually I'll leave it at 100,000, 6, 4, and 3. So easy. Look at that. What is that? 13 people a day. So I'm going to hit continue. So now what it's done is it configured Teamzy to that goal. So each one of you have a custom dashboard based on your specific goal. The next stage is getting your contacts imported. And one of the things I love about Teamzy, obviously you're going to get your team imported, your customers, but you can also import your Facebook friends, your Instagram followers, all your social media lists you can get in Teamzy. So they'll be in one place, organized, right? You won't have to be hunting through your phone, going through sticky notes. Who are the sticky note people? There's a couple on every team. Yep. Pads of paper. How many beautiful notebooks do you have stashed around the house that have notes in them and you're trying to put them together, right? So you'll have it all in one place. It's cloud-based, it's in your phone, it's in your computer, it's everywhere, okay? The other thing that's gonna happen, which is really cool, once you get everything in Teamzy, and I'll show you this in a second, is that Teamzy has an algorithm, kind of magical, that makes sure you stay in touch with everybody without you having to think about it or plan. It cycles people through constantly. You can't miss anybody if you're using it regularly. Isn't that cool? Okay, so here's our Teamzy dashboard. It's all set up and you can see that my activities are set up on the goals we just set. So see where it says today's activities. This is what I need to do today in Teamzy. And the idea here is that you do it daily, 5 days a week for a year and you hit your goal. Okay, 5 days a week. So you don't have to work 7 days a week. You can if you want, but the whole point is for us to have a life, right? Yeah. So my goal was to connect with 6 prospects, 4 customers, and 3 distributors. You can see they're all zeros because I haven't done any work yet. And the next goal is to share 3 times. And so a share, just really simply, people are always like, what about this? What about that? Is this a share? For me, shares are only 2 things. Did you share a product solution with somebody? Did you share the business opportunity with somebody? It's either those 2 things or both. That's a share. Make sense? Everything else is leading up to the share. So my goal is 3 times a day to share. I'm working this business, creating conversations 3 times, looking for opportunities to share. And then I've also got a goal to add people to my Teamzy list every day. Those are the 5 activities I need to do today. Okay, make sense? Now, this is important. How many of you want to have a big business? Your goal is to build a big business. Okay, great. If you want to build a big business, you must have a focus that's small. Okay. If you want to have a big business, you must have a focus that's small. That's why Teamzy focuses you only on today. You set the annual goal, we focus you on today. Why? It's the only day you have. Today's work is all we've got. And you don't need to go in and do a week's worth of work in one day when you fall behind. That's actually a very bad idea. If you guys were working out 5 days a week, how many of you guys work out regularly? It's okay if you don't, but those of you who work out regularly, imagine if you had a crazy week and you didn't work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Friday, you finally bring some sanity to your world and you're like, I'm going to go get a great workout in. Do you go to the gym on Friday and do you work out for 5 hours? Does anyone do that? No, you just go get one workout in, right? And so we need to look at our business the same way. If you missed a few days, just get today's power hour done. That's what you need to do. If you do 5 workouts, you're going to hurt. You might even injure yourself. If you message 100 people in one day, you're going to blow your phone. It will literally explode. It will explode. You ever leave the camera on in your pocket and you reach into your pocket and your phone's about 6,000 degrees? Has it ever happened to you guys, like with an iPhone? That's what's going to happen if you message 100 people one day on Teamzy. Okay. Focus on today. So let's do a power hour. Let me just show you how this works. Now, Teamzy is a full CRM, which is a fancy term that just means it keeps track of all your relationships, all your contact information is in here, right? We keep track of everything. You can record their birthdays, their spouses, the name of their dog, their favorite Starbucks drink, whatever information you want to keep in here, you track all your conversations with them. It's all in there. But what Teamzy does that's really special that nothing else does is this power hour module we're looking at right here on the front dashboard. This power hour module takes all that data, all those thousands of people and all those relationships, and it tells you exactly who to connect with right now. So you don't have to think. Right? And it cycles people through these lists and it cycles them through on a very simple system. We use a 5-star rating system. You guys know how that works, right? Anybody, like when you get a pizza, you want it to be a 5-star pizza, right? So it's a 5-star rating system. 5-star people are going to be your best relationships. They show up every month. They come up first. They show up every 30 days without you having to think about it. They come back up on the list. You might not have very many of those, honestly. If you have more than 20, it's probably not realistic unless new people, you might put at 5 temporarily, but most people aren't going to be 5. So those are going to be your closest people. 4-star people will be next. They show up every 60 days. They come back every 60 days. You're staying in touch with them every 60 days. 3-star people, which is 90% of your list, will be 3 stars. They come back every 90 days. So you're staying in touch. You're not dropping anybody through the cracks. You're also not overdoing it and being weird. Does this make sense? So it helps you stay in touch. It also keeps you from being a stalker. All right, good. So now that we've got that down, you can see I've got people ranked. I'm going to come in here, just pretend like I just logged into Teamzy, haven't been talking to you for a while. We're going to do a power hour. Let me show you how easy this is and how fun it is to crush one of these together. Okay, so I've got 4 lists in the power hour: prospects, customers, distributors, and my follow-ups list. Okay, each list gives me 5 names at a time, no more. So I can't get overwhelmed. And so I can't overthink and try to skip around too much. How many of you guys, that's you? You sending messages. Eric, I really want to see the next 100 people so I can scan down who I want to message today. You're missing the point. We want you to cycle through the list and nobody falls through the cracks. You actually don't know how people are going to respond to you. Message them. Okay. So we work from left to right. On the left side, it tells me who to connect with. On the right side is where I log the message I'm sending so that it's tracked as I go. I don't have to do any homework later. Isn't that cool? For those of you who live on your phones, not your desktop, that's cool. You can do this on your phone. Okay. So Cora's the first person on my list. I'm going to message her. Now, remember we talked about investing time and making a personal connection. So I'm going to send her a quick personal message, one-on-one, which is unbelievably rare, actually, for people to get personal messages. Everybody does it on the feeds and stuff, right? So I'm going to message her one-on-one. My goal is not to send her a video from corporate about how amazing Trim Down Trio is. Not yet. I just want to say hi. My goal is to make her day. Okay. So this is My philosophy is it's the make someone's day mindset. Just get in the make someone's day mindset. As you're reaching out to people, your goal is just to make their day. Because what happens is if you connect with people just to make their day, they'll respond. They will respond. And now you've done the most important thing a business owner can do, which is create daily conversations. Make sense? I actually have a consulting client that I've worked with for the past 7 years. She's owns a real estate company in LA. She calls them MSDs. And she trains her real estate agents to make MSDs, make someone's days, MSDs. So she asks them in their meetings, how many MSDs did you do today? I think that's funny, right? She took that from us. So make someone's day. Now, how am I going to do it? I'm going to send Cora a message. I used to sit here and overthink the message. Is anybody guilty of that? I'd go read her Facebook and Instagram, try to catch up on everything that's been going on in her life. And then I'd finally send this perfectly crafted message 30 minutes later. She doesn't respond. What a waste of time. What I found was the shorter, the sweeter, the easier it was for them to respond. And so over time, I refined these and I put all those scripts in Teamzy for you guys to use. So what I recommend you do is just grab one of my scripts. See where it says scripts right here? We're going to click on that and just grab one. Now, Cora and I are Facebook friends, so I'll message her there. And so you've got a bunch of scripts you can use. I'm going to take the first one off the list. It says, hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. This little script, by the way, I can't even tell you how many times I've used it and how I would say the response rate for me on this script is probably about 90% over lifetime. Is crazy. So I clicked on copy script. Then what I'm going to do is you could go straight to Messenger and send that, but I like to paste it in Teamzy so I could do my editing here. And that's because I have over time sent the wrong name. So make sure you get the name right. Remember, it needs to be personal. And I totally made fun of my State Farm representative, right? Because he didn't put my name on it. So make it personal. All right. And then maybe, some emojis. My computer's catching up to me. Let's see. I don't know. A couple emojis. It's funny because I did this one time and somebody asked me in Q&A, you send the heart eyes to women? Like, buddy, I just grabbed the first emoji. It's just a demonstration, okay? It's the first one on my list. So, okay, send the emojis you're comfortable with, okay? But anyway, so now I've got this where I want it. It's lighthearted. It's fun. It's going to be easy for her to respond to. She's not going to be weirded out by this at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to copy that and go send it to her. Now I've got Facebook open right here. You can just look her up. Okay. Message her. You can also save that link in Teamzy. So you just click it to go to her Facebook. I just don't bother to do it because it's just as quick for me to search. Okay, so there it is. So I've sent it. So now I've sent her that message. Now I come back to Teamzy. Now I just have Facebook open up here in another tab. Okay, so I can toggle back and forth. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to do this on my computer. I'm like following along with you.
Yeah.
So I have my first person here and I'm trying to change the script to change the name and I can't do anything.
Copy the script, hit copy script,
Okay.
and then paste it in the connect box. Okay. Got it. All right. No problem. No big deal. That's fine. I'm sure other people have the same thing. So now that I've already sent her the message, now I just want to log it in Teams that I sent it. So I'm going to click on select activity. What was it? This was a Facebook message, hit log connect. So it's logged. So now let me scroll up a little and you can see I've got 1 done, 5 left. So that little circle's filling in. This is my progress circle showing me that I'm making progress. Next on my list is Jay. I will just use that same script. It's on my clipboard. Just paste it in there and change the name. And you can see I'll keep my emojis and keep on trucking. This is how you get really fast with this. So I've copied that. I'm going to toggle over here to Jay's. Tape it right. There she is. Boom. We'll quickly send her this message. Okay. Message sent. Toggle back over. Log it. Now I know I'm going fast, but you guys will get really fast at this after a while. Log connect and it's logged. Now I've got 2 done, 4 left. See that circle's filling in? So I'll just keep working down my list, sending these make someone's day messages. And when that circle's all the way blue, I'm done with my prospects for today and I can go to the next list. The next list is customers. Okay. And so I'm sorry,
I was just asking, you said to hit copy script, which I did.
Yeah.
And then I tried to change it. It won't let me.
You copy it, then you need to paste it. Look, let me show you again. Look at my screen.
Sorry.
Go to scripts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're going to get the script, copy script.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Then come out here to the back to the dashboard and paste it in. I pasted it in right here. See? Just right click and paste it.
Okay.
And then you can do whatever you want to it.
All right. I have to figure that out. I'm not sure about that right click thing. I'm not seeing that. I'm on a Mac. Maybe that's why.
I'm on a Mac.
I don't have a right click.
It's, do you use a trackpad or a mouse?
A trackpad.
Okay. Right click is just 2 fingers. If you click with 2 fingers.
All right.
Your Mac knows that you're doing 2 fingers. That's going to be life-changing for you. The 2-finger click brings up all the Mac menus, brings up your emojis, brings up everything. Okay, so
just keep going off. I'm lost.
No worries. And
sorry.
And it's okay. And we are going to do a full Q&A at the end too. So now I'm on I've moved over. Imagine I'm done with my prospects. I've hit my goal for the day. My goal was 6. So I'll send those messages. Then I'll come over to my customers and I'll start messaging customers. Now, look, I know that you guys have a way that you like to follow up with new customers for a period of time. But once you've kind of gone through that first cycle, I recommend you take them off follow-ups list and just let them flow into this customer list, because this is just going to keep you in touch effortlessly. You won't fall behind this way. Does this make sense? So as I'm going down my customer list, they come up, I'm going to send them a quick message just to connect the same way. Okay. And there's different scripts that you can use for customers. For example, I'll show you a couple. Here's one. Hi, John, how are you enjoying the products? And then take out the word products and put what products he's using, right? Does this make sense? Please send me an update and let me know how I can be of help. This is a great way to engage customers that you're really not sure what to say. You haven't talked to them in a while. Like, just get an update from them and re-engage them. I love this one though, too. This is my favorite one for customers. Just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Oh my gosh. Has anyone used this one? Yeah, you get great response from that. So the same thing, we're going to connect with customers, just connect. My goal is 4. So whatever 4 come up, I'm going to connect with. Make sense? Okay. Change the name. And then send the message. This is super important. Just real quick on this. It's super important to be in touch with your customer. How many of you guys have a list of customers that you've helped over the years? Maybe even people who aren't current, but you've got them. Good. First off, if they're not current, like they're not getting their product anymore, still treat them as if they are. Okay. So past customers, if you don't have them in Teamzy, get them in Teamzy and start connecting with them again. They're your customer forever. Make sense? They're your customer forever. Because a lot of times people cancel not because they don't love you or they don't love the product. They just cancel because whatever, money's tight, or they've got a bunch of, they went on vacation and they forgot to bring their product and now they're behind on product. Does this make sense? So you want to stay in touch. People will come back. And just a little pro tip on this, whenever you're trying to get qualified for the month and it's like 3 days to the end of the month, I'm just right now, those canceled customers are the ones you reach out to. You will always make it. You'll always get it in by the end of the month. If you start reaching out, if you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm like just this much volume away from qualifying. I've got 3 days left. Hey, Michelle, it's been a while since we connected. How the heck are you? What's going on? Those messages, boom, 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 boom. You'd be surprised. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you reached out. I need more product. Okay, I can help you get that. Boom, qualified. Are you guys with me? This business is not rocket science. It's about being present for people, connecting with people. And customers are gold mine for 3 reasons. One, well, the first reason is not gold mine. The first reason is about integrity. It's good service. How many of you really are committed to providing good service? So being in touch with your customers is the first way to provide good service. If you went to an excellent restaurant and never saw the server, would you consider it good service? No, good service starts with them being present. The second reason is this. When you're in regular contact with customers, this is a statistical fact. They order more product and they retain longer. Okay, not because you're amazing or you're a closer or you've been to sales university. No, just by being in regular contact with customers, They order more product and they retain longer. What's going to happen for this team after this call is you're going to see a spike in volume. Cora's going to be like, yes. You're going to see a spike in volume. Why? Because there's 40 of you plus whoever's going to watch on replay who are going to suddenly be connecting with customers this month, just sending out my scripts. And what's going to happen is people are going to put in more orders. It's just going to happen. Does it make sense? So if you want people to order more and to retain longer, you stay in touch. I call this I'm from Southern California. Do we have any Southern California people on this call? Well, I shouldn't say I'm from here. I moved here. I live here. I call it the avocado on the cheeseburger. It's like, I don't really think about an avocado on the cheeseburger, but if you say to me, sir, would you like fresh avocado on that cheeseburger? Guess what I'm going to say? Yeah, that sounds great, right? It's a $3 charge. I'll slather it on there. It sounds great, right? I've ordered more. Now I'm having a good time. And that's what it's like. People want more products. They're enjoying the process, right? Think about shopping trips or restaurants. Like when you spend the most and buy the most is when you've had the great time. And so your customers the same way. The third reason though, and probably the most important reason, were any of you guys on my webinar last night? Gluttons for Punishment. A few of you guys were on my webinar last night. Wow, a lot of you were on my webinar last night. Man, you guys aren't you sick of me by now? No, it's okay. God bless you for being here. Last night I talked about this on the webinar a little bit more in depth. Customers are your best source for new customers. Customers are your best source for new customers. There's no better source because a customer who's working with you already, they love you. They love your product. And when people love you and love your product, I guarantee you they're talking to other people about it. They're talking to other people. This is what people do. So they're talking it up. What are you doing, girl? You look great. I'm doing Xyngular. Have you heard of it? No, it's great. They're talking about Xyngular with their friends. Here's a stat I want you guys to understand. 90% of people say they make purchasing decisions based on really slick videos that corporate makes about no, I'm just kidding. 90% of people say they make purchasing decisions based on the recommendation of a friend. Based on the recommendation of a friend. So your customers are talking to their friends. Those friends are basically ready to buy. Are you getting introduced to those people? Now, they're not going to come looking for you in most cases. Some people will get so fired up, they'll go Google Xyngular and they'll find it. Why aren't you getting introduced to those people? You got to be in regular contact with your customers and you have to ask them to introduce you. You have to ask them to introduce you. Okay. Cora, you've been doing so well with the products. You've made such amazing progress. I'm so proud. This is an example, Cora. I'm so proud of you. You're doing amazing. I'm sure that people have noticed and you've probably told people about Xyngular, had conversations about Xyngular. So before I get too busy this month, Cora, I want to make sure that I set aside some time for your friends or family. Is there anybody that needs more information about Xyngular that you know that you've talked to? Oh, your friend Sue? Oh, perfect. Well, would you mind introducing me to Sue? I'll get her some more information. I want to make sure that she's taken well care of. Are you with me? It's just really easy. But if I haven't talked to her in 6 months, if I have no idea that she's not even using the product, much less getting results, right? Because I've not been touching her, then I can't ask her to introduce me to her friends. Does this make sense? So you got to invest in good service. You have to be in regular contact with people. And then you create an army of advocates. People will be excited to talk to you. Now, when Cora now introduces me to 3 of her friends that she's been talking to, and so now I'm messaging her 3 friends, guess what? She's just expanded my warm market. How she expanded my warm market. Her friends are warm. They're not people that don't know me. They trust me. Why do they trust me? Because Cora introduced me and they trust Cora. They're warm market. Does it make sense? So now when I'm reaching out to her friends, how can I help you guys? What are you most interested in? Where are you struggling? What goals do you have? Okay, great. I think I can help you. Now I've got 3 people because they already trust me, because they're already excited about her results. They're ready to go. What am I going to do? I'm going to say, Cora, thank you so much for introducing me to your friends. And before all 3 of them are ready to get going. But before I sign them up, let me just ask you a simple question. Have you ever considered doing what I do? Because you so effortlessly introduce 3 friends to the business, they're all interested. And if you want to jump on a quick call, we can talk it over. I'd be happy to put these 3 as your first customers and let's rock. Does this make sense? Customers are the best are the best source of new customers, and those customers who introduce you are your best place to recruit new distributors. Okay? So that is why it's so important to stay in touch with customers. It is a gold mine. I once went to this is a little side note, little story. I got to do this. The little stories people like the best, right? So I went to a Super Saturday. Do you guys do those? I was with another company when I was doing network marketing, but we called them Super Saturdays. It was the local event where everybody gets together locally. And remember when we could go out and get together? That was great. And then they bring in like top producers to speak and teach. You know, I'm there with my notebook. And here was somebody who was top 20 in our company. And she was a big shot, really cool, actually a really cool person. But when she was teaching, she said, you know, we were talking about follow-up. And she says, I follow up 3 times. And if you don't respond, see ya. I don't have time for this. Like, that must be nice. And so I raised my hand and I said, can I have the list of the 3 people, of the people you said see ya to? I'd love that list. And I'm going to talk about following up here in a second, you guys, but there's 90% of her opportunities were lost by throwing them away after 3 follow-ups. I would have just used her name. Hey, I'm calling from so-and-so's office. She wanted me to follow up. Right? It would have been awesome, but she didn't think it was funny. It's all game. It's all good. So customers are the best source for customers. Stay in touch with your customers. Okay, last piece here real quick on your power hour. So you've talked to your prospects, you've messaged your customers. Now we're going to message to your team members. Okay, you're going to message your team members very simply. How many you guys have had? I'm sure you've had lots of people teach you about recruiting, about getting customers, right? You've had, how many trainings have you had about retaining distributors? It's funny because it's the biggest issue in our business. And I have never met a corporate sales team who talks about this. It's almost like we don't want to discourage people. But how many of you have been in the business at least a year? You found that people quit, right? So I don't know what it is for Xyngular because companies don't release this, but industry-wide, it's 50% a year. 50% of people quit their first year. And the attrition is brutal. So this is why Teamzy is called Teamzy. And this is why the third category we connect with are distributors. Because the #1 way to impact retention of distributors is by being connected, by having a relationship with them, right? People stay for the connection to the team, for the relationship. They don't want to let you down. They want to be part of something. And if you can, and we know that if we can hold people to the business long enough and encourage them, they will do something. They will make things happen. It takes a little bit of time. Does this make sense? Retention. So the third list that we're going to connect with are our distributors. Just reaching out. Hey, just checking in. How the heck are you? I haven't seen you. You didn't make the Zoom on Tuesday. Is everything cool? How's everything going? Just checking in. After you have a whole team using Teamzy, you can say, girl, you're #1 on my Teamzy list. How are you? And it becomes like a funny thing, right? But staying in touch, actually connecting. You'd be surprised how much time passes when you don't think it has passed between connecting with people. True? You guys ever do that where you're like, oh, I'm just going to go see when I just talked to that person last week. And then you go in and you see in your messages that it was a year ago, just like with you guys, with training this team. I said, it wasn't that long ago that I trained that team. And then I looked, it was February 2020. Oh my gosh, right? That was a long time ago. Does this make sense, you guys? So don't work so hard building your team and then let people fall out the back door. Really invest in those people, really connect with them. Let them know you care. As your team grows, this becomes even more important. When you have a huge team and you get a text from the leader that says, hey, just checking in, it means more. Isn't that funny how we value time more when we think somebody's more successful? Right? Isn't that interesting? So that's why we call it Teamzy. So your power hour, the first half of your power hour, just really quick. I'm going to speed this up here because I know I've been talking a while. Prospects, customers, distributors, just sending those, make someone say messages. That's it. You can bang them out so fast. So our goal was 13. Honestly, I could do 13 in 10 minutes. If you don't overthink, use my scripts, change the name. Let's say 15 minutes. Maybe let's give you 30 minutes. Still, you're done with the first half of your power hour in 30 minutes. Okay. The second half of the power hour is the follow-ups list. So when you go to your follow-ups list, you're going to see if you have follow-ups due, they'll be red. And so you'll send a follow-up to those people. Okay. Follow-ups are not automatic. Prospects, customers, distributors, those lists are automatic. They cycle based on the star ranking. You have to set a follow-up with somebody. Let me just give you an idea. Now, the follow-up list is designed specifically to follow up after a share. You can use it for whatever you want. It's flexible. You can use it however you want, but we designed it to follow up after a share. The reason why is because we know that when you share and somebody's excited to join you or excited to get started on the products, that only 20% of the time do they actually make that purchase. They say, Eric, I'm going to do, yeah, send me the link. I'm signing up right now. I got my credit card in my hand. You're like, yes. And then tomorrow you look in your back office and there's no order. What happened? Has that happened to you guys? It happens 80% of the time that way, because what happens is they're like, the credit card's in my hand. What are those kids screaming about in the next room? Let me go see what's going on, right? Or whatever. The dog's throwing up on the baby, whatever's happening. They get distracted. So we have to follow up with them. I will assume they're not going to follow through and I need to follow up. So let me just give you an example. I've messaged Cora. She responds, great to hear from you, Eric. We're doing great. Thanks for checking in. You guys ever get responses like that? And you're like, now what do I do? So I'm just going to give you my little special sentence that works like a charm to get them going, which is, I'm so glad to hear that, Cora. It's been forever. What have you guys been up to lately? Send me an update. What have you guys been up to lately? Send me an update. That's my little secret phrase. Doesn't always work, but it works a lot of the time, especially if people like you. They'll tell you what they're up to. They'll give you an update. This is what we've been doing. Oh my gosh, it's been so crazy. It's been busy. It's been great. They'll tell you, right? And people will unpack their life in such a way. A lot of times they'll tell you exactly what they need, which is cool. Maybe not, but you're going to ask questions, be interested, get her update. She's going to start sending me things like, oh, we're doing this. The kids are doing that. This has been cool. And it's like, okay, great. It's kind of like the letter people send at Christmas sometimes with their family update. This is what people will do over Messenger when you ask them to send an update. Now you've got a lot of things to be interested in, talk to them about. So when Cora has now given me a little update on her family and we've chit-chatted about it via Messenger, I'm going to now tell her what's going on in my life. That's completely natural. It's called the Law of Reciprocity. It would be weird if I didn't, right? So, well, here's what we've been, and she'll probably even say, how about you? What about you? Maybe not, but I'm going to now tell her, oh, we're doing, it's so cool. We've been busy too. This is what we're doing. My kids are doing this, and my daughter's been playing piano. My 9-year-old daughter is a little pianist. She's got a piano and she's just plays it for 2 hours a day. It's really cool. Oh, really? We're just chit-chatting, right? That's a true story, by the way. And then what I'm going to do is part of my update is just to let her know about my home-based business. Just let her know it's part of the update. This is the easiest way to bring your business into the conversation. Just telling you guys right now, this is a little extra training for you. It's just, yeah, I started a home-based business. It's been amazing. With a company called Xyngular. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they really specialize in helping people lose weight and getting healthy and really clean, awesome products. I actually discovered them through a friend of mine and lost 30 pounds. It's been an incredible journey. And then I got into the business. It's been great, all through the pandemic, having side income. It's been amazing. Cool. Well, good for you. Now I just made all that up off the cuff. You guys have a similar story though, right? You tell your story. This is what I do, and let them know why you're passionate about it. So what I do, so I told them what I do. It's Xyngular. This is what we solve: weight loss, health, nutrition. And yeah, I found it's just become a passion of mine to really help people. It's been a passion since I lost the weight. It was life-changing for me, and it's been a passion to help others. Let people know what you're passionate about, what part of it you're passionate about. Okay, this is important because it's infectious. When you meet somebody who's doing something they're passionate about, it's infectious. And you want them to go, wow, that's cool. Good for you. Make sense? Are you guys with me? Wow. Like my friend Beverly, who I didn't know had to leave her military career because she was so unhealthy. If she had said, I started a home-based business, I left the military a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was because I was sick. And I found this business, I found this company that saved my life. And now I represent them and I'm passionate about it because now I get to help other people in the way it helped me. Do you see how powerful that is to share your testimony like that? And it doesn't have to be like, big. It could just be like, I used to have no energy. Now I have energy. Just something relatable. Wow, good for you. And then how do you, well, Eric, now that I've mentioned my business, oh my gosh, how do I share it? When Cora says, good for you, that's great. Say, yeah, if you ever like to learn more about it, Cora, just let me know. I'll get you more info. Be happy to. That's it. That's it. Would you like to learn more? Let me know. If you'd like to learn more, let me know. Depends on how strong you are. If you're really worried about rejection, you can say, if you'd ever like to learn more about it, please let me know. If you're a little bit more confident, you might say, would you like to learn more about it? Does this make sense? Wherever you're comfortable, you guys, you just got to drop that seed. Now, if you completely wimp out and they say, wow, good for you, that's great. And you go, yeah, it is great. Well, great talking to you. 3 out of 5 people, I would say, will go, that's really weird. She didn't offer to tell me about, she didn't offer to help me with it. I need to lose weight or I need that. What's wrong with me? Right? Does this make sense? So you don't want to withhold that blessing from people. You want to always offer it to them. That's what it feels like when you don't, because you were afraid of rejection. It feels like you withheld blessing from them. I'm passionate about helping people, but I'm not going to offer it to you. Does it make sense? So offer it to her. Hey, if you'd like to learn more, let me know. And she says, yeah, it actually sounds kind of interesting. I think I would like to learn more. Maybe it could help me. Great. Perfect. Well, I'd love to talk to you about it. Are you able to get off Messenger and jump on a quick call or a quick Zoom right now? I'll send you a link. Does this make sense? So as soon as they say, yeah, I want more information, I just want you guys to know, this is my opinion. I would never send them information. I would get them on a call with me. Yeah, send me your website or send me a link. No. Why don't we jump on I don't even know what your goals or struggles are. Do you have 5 minutes for us to have a quick chat? Make sense? So if we can get on a Zoom or if we can get on a call, then I can say, all right, well, it's great to talk to you. So great to catch up via Messenger. I'm glad to hear your voice. Right now we're having a conversation. So, you said you wanted to learn some more. What are you thinking? Where do you feel like you're struggling, or do you have some goals you want to meet? Like, tell me so I can understand what your needs are. So I'd ask a bunch of questions. Make sense? Ask a bunch of questions. Great. Because I'm competent. Remember we talked about that before. As I identify what her needs are, now I can give her a solution. Based on everything you told me, I think we've got a really great product line that would be really helpful for you. It's like a 90-day thing. We'll go through it. I'll send you over the links and tell them about it. I think this would be perfect for exactly what you're trying to achieve. Great. Awesome. Perfect. How much is it? Here's the price. I'm going to send it over to you. She's like, oh my gosh, Eric, I'm so glad we connected. This is exactly what I need. Send it over. I'm going to buy it right now. Perfect. I'm going to send you an email with all the links and all the instructions, everything you need. And you know what I'm going to do, Cora? I'll check in tomorrow, see if you have any questions. Perfect. Why am I checking in tomorrow? Because I know there's an 80% chance she's not completing that purchase today. Make sense, guys? There's nothing wrong with her or me. This is the way human beings are. So let me go back into Teamzy. I'm still sharing it, right? Yeah. I'm going to go find her on the lookup bar, see at the top, because she's not on my dashboard anymore. She already cycled through. There she is. That takes me to her full record. And I'm going to log this conversation we had with the share in it. So I'm going to click on the connect box to open that up. And let's say we talked via Zoom. So I'll log that as a video chat. I'll put all the notes from our Zoom. And then right here on the bottom left where it says share, I'm going to log that this was a share. Okay. And in this situation, it was a product share, which is great. And this automatically turned on the follow-up list. As soon as she's on my follow-ups list, she doesn't ever come up on my prospects list. She's only on my follow-ups list. Does this make sense? So she can't be in 2 places at once in Teamzy. So it says for 2 days, but if you click on it, you can change it to any date in the future. I'm going to set it for tomorrow because that's what I told her. And then when I log this connect, you can see it put a planned follow-up for tomorrow on her record. If I go over to the dashboard, I'll show you a couple of things. One, there's 1 share logged now. See that? That's how you log a share. And if I go to my follow-ups list, you can see there's Cora. She's due tomorrow. Does this make sense? So this is the way the second half of the power hour works. Prospects, customers, distributors. You're just sending make someone's day messages. You're starting conversations. As those conversations progress throughout the week, you'll be sharing and putting people on the follow-ups list. The second half of the power hour is checking for any follow-ups due and messaging them. Sending a follow-up is exactly like sending a connect. There's scripts, you copy and paste, so easy. But this makes sure that you're on top of everybody. So we're going to pretend Cora's due today, and I'll show you how to do it. So I'll click on her. I'm going to go to scripts. Okay. And I'm going to look for scripts that are labeled follow-up. Yes, this is how easy we made it. So follow-up number 1, there it is. Follow-up number 1. Here's how it reads. It says, hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Okay. These scripts, you guys, 20 years of refinement to get these just right. So don't worry about redoing them. They work great. So copy that script. Boom. I'm going to paste that in here again. Change the name. I love your name, by the way. It's such a cool name. Okay. So there we go. Toggle over to Facebook, search her. There she is, actually still open. Paste it in there. Follow-up message, paste it in, sent. Okay. See how easy that was? Now we're going to log this. Now watch what happens when I log a follow-up in Teamzy. Teamzy asks, did that complete the follow-up you had scheduled? So leave that checked because that was the follow-up we had scheduled. And then I'm going to add another follow-up. And so now let's say we're going to follow up again on Friday, right? So just decide when you want to follow up again, put it in there, and then you can leave yourself a note. It's going to be follow-up number 2. Just for your information, FU means follow-up in my shorthand system. Okay. Just want to clarify that. All right. So now I've created, so now that I'm checking off today's follow-up and I've set a new follow-up complete. And so you'll see now that she's back on my list due Friday. Make sense? So this is very simple. As you move people through the process of having conversations and getting to the share, you put them on that follow-ups list. Once somebody has said, yes, I'm interested, and you've talked about what they're interested in, you know, right? And you've identified what they need to buy or that they need to join the team or whatever. Now they're on your follow-ups list. They're going to stay on that follow-ups list forever till the cows come home, forever until they close. People are like, what? Yes, I just want you to understand this. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. 80% happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Does that mean they're all done by 10? No, some take longer. Some are shorter. Some take 2. But you want to keep sending those follow-up messages, because here's what will happen in most cases. You'll send the follow-up message and you'll get no response. Has this happened? You'll send it again, no response. You'll send it again, no response. You'll send it again, no response. This is where my friend, the top Beachbody coach, says, see ya. But not us. Send it again, no response. Now you're going, Eric Johnson is a jerk. I hate that guy. I can't believe I spent an hour on the webinar and this isn't working. Nobody's responding to me. And you send it again, and then what happens? Suddenly you get a response. Typically the response is something like this. I'm so sorry I haven't responded. Thank you so much for staying in touch with me. Now, let me just explain, you guys, this is like clockwork. This system is like clockwork. Like it works on this works for everybody. We're all human beings. We're all cut from the same cloth. I'm telling you right now, here's what's happening. Now, how many of you guys are really concerned that you're going to be annoying if you follow up this many times? People are going to be annoyed with you. Okay, good. Tanya, you're my favorite. I love that not only did you wave, but you made the face. Okay. So real quick, it's okay. That's all right. I feel the same way. I want you guys to know there is a way to follow up so that you're not annoying. People will always be super excited about it. Okay. So I'm going to teach you 2 principles really quick. Now I taught these really quick last night on the webinar. If those of you guys who were there last night, maybe you need to hear it twice. Here it is. 2 principles. If you follow these 2 principles, you'll never be annoying. Principle number 1, when you're following up, don't ask them to do anything. Okay. Don't say, message me back, respond, call me, whatever. Don't ask them to do anything. Just be present. Just be present. Okay. The second principle is send your message, make sure it's short enough they can read the whole thing without opening it. Make sure they can read the whole thing without opening it. Okay. Because the reason why they're not responding is because your message is coming through at a moment when they're busy with something else. Right. I always laugh about the dog throwing up on the baby, or you're in the middle of making dinner, you're driving your car, whatever the case may be. You don't want to deal with it right now. And so what you do is you don't open the message. How many of you guys wait to open it till you can respond, right? So your prospects are doing the same thing. They're not opening the message, but they have the same addiction you do. They need to see what it says. They need to see what it says. So they'll look at their phone and they'll look at the lock screen without opening it and they'll get the message. That's all you need. You just want to stay ever present in their mind. Let them know that when you told them you were going to help them, you meant it. See, I want you guys to understand following up isn't something we do to pester people. Following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. This is how we help people. And if you really believe in Xyngular and they haven't got Xyngular yet, Xyngular's not helping them, is it? The only thing you have that can help them right now is your ability to follow up. When you offered them hope and a plan and they said, I'm in, and you said, great, I'll check in with you, you need to follow through on that promise. Does it make sense? This is why that first response, which by the way, might be after 6 or 7 follow-ups on average, is I'm so sorry, thank you so much. Does it make sense? Now, does that mean they're ready to buy? No, it means you've restarted the conversation. You're starting over. So a lot of people take this little incubation time. How many of you took a long time before you joined the team? Long time. Sometimes your best people take a long time. But here's what I want you guys to understand with Teamzy. You go into Teamzy for an hour, you get in, you get out. You send a bunch of make someone's day messages, you start some conversations. That follow-up list, you work that follow-up list, same thing, send the scripts, you move out, move on. It's like clockwork. Every day you do the same thing. You start, and you're going to set aside a little bit of time a day to message back and forth with people and have great conversations. Does this make sense? But people are on that follow-ups list. As they're coming through the follow-ups list, you don't overthink it. Some people might be on there for a while. Just send them the next message. Just send them the next message. Does this make sense? Just send them the next message. Spend 2-3 seconds thinking about them and move on. And what will happen is every single month, consistently, people on that list will close. Some people are new, some people are old. It doesn't matter. You don't know who it's going to be. Stay in touch, stay present. And every week, every month, people are closing, people are coming on board. Does this make sense? People will be so impressed with your consistency. The other thing is that your customers will be much more likely to introduce you to friends when they see how professional you are about staying in touch and following up. They know exactly how you're going to treat their friends. Does this make sense? And then when they join your team, they're going to go, oh, I know what you're doing now. That's brilliant, right? When they jump in and they get trained on Teamzy. The system is very simple. This is why I've been teaching this system for 20 years. There's no new, better way to do it. Now, Teamzy, the technology, helped us do it more efficiently the way I used to teach. Just honestly, you guys, the way I taught this 20 years ago was business owners, you need a full-time assistant, right? And we used to talk about whether they're going to be hourly, salaried, right? But the full-time assistant who's going to go through your list and put names on your desk every day who you're going to call, right? Well, now we don't call people. People hate getting called. And you don't need a full-time assistant because it's already built into the software. It's called Teamzy. Make sense? All right. Now, I don't have time to go into in-depth, but that's your power hour. Make someone say messages, follow-ups. Okay. You get that done in an hour every day. I like to do it in the morning so it's over with. And then what I used to do, I had a full-time job when I started building my business. So I would take 2 little 30-minute blocks in the day, one in the lunch hour, one in the evening, where I would answer messages. And I would do my best to ignore them all day. It's so hard to do, but you could be on your phone all day, true? And the point is to have a life. So what I would do is, let's say from 12 to 12:30, I was answering messages. I would go in, I would do Messenger first because that was primarily where people were responding. I would sort messages by unread, and I would just go down my list and respond to them. Then I'd go to my texts, sort by unread, send them out. Done 30 minutes. And then boom, later in the day, in the evening, after I got my kids to bed, I'd do it again. And so that kept me in those conversations. It also set the tone that I want to be in touch, but I'm not going to answer everything immediately, right? Kind of set that tone in the beginning. So it's like, I'm always going to come back to that conversation today. It might not be immediately, which is an important boundary as a business owner, true? It's an important boundary. You want to serve your clients. You don't want to be their slave. Make sense? All right. All right. So real quick on this. There's more, but we'll do Q&A. And if you guys have specific questions, let me jump back in here really quick, because I just want to, for those of you who are new or haven't used Teamzy, oops, it's the wrong one. I just want to kind of go through this with you really quick. Again, make sure that you guys get your free trial set up so that if you're not already using Teamzy. Just to kind of review some of the things that you get with the Teamzy subscription, in case you don't know. So you get the full power of the CRM plus the Power Hour module, right? Which tells you exactly what to do, who to do it with, what to say, and you log it as you go. But with the CRM, you'll be able to find every contact, every customer, every conversation. It's all logged in here. You'll have records for all of it. It has the intelligent module that helps you crush that Power Hour every day. You'll be able to view and track all your leads, and you'll be able to get your team motivated. We didn't even talk about that, but there's a really cool team reporting function here. So all your team members that are using Teamzy, you can have connect to your Teamzy so you can see what they're doing or not doing. And you'll be able to track your own performance in there. Also, the scripts that I demoed, they're included. So you get my 100 best scripts included. And again, these are designed for Facebook Messenger, text, any type of touch point. These are conversation starters, staying in touch scripts, follow-ups, reconnecting scripts. They are not cheesy sales scripts. Make sense? Now, but if you have some sales scripts you want to use, you can put your own scripts in the scripts library, which is pretty cool. You can save your own in there, which is really neat. So if you have scripts you use as a team, you can put them in there. One of the things that I did with the scripts was I saved all my emails as scripts. So I never had to write an email twice. So if I wrote an email about Trim Down Trio with purchasing links and videos from corporate and all that cool stuff, I wrote it once and I saved it as a script. And then as I'm talking to you, and I'm like, yeah, I'll send you an email in a second with information that you need. I'd have that saved as script. All I would do is send his email, change the name, boom, it was out. Pretty cool, right? So you can create your own, save them for later, which is pretty cool. The other thing that a lot of people don't know is when you subscribe to Teamzy, you also get access in Teamzy University. We do a lot of advanced training courses that are additional costs, like our boot camps and our leadership programs. But we also have this whole suite of training, the ultimate mindset. It's included in your subscription. There's a 4-part goal setting training in here, which is really advanced. You can go in and learn how to set goals, create your why. We'll teach you how to do that. So these are training classes you can take inside your Teamzy account. The videos are there with downloadable workbooks. So that is something that is really cool, and that's included. So we've got, I call it goal setting on steroids. So how to visualize your BHAGs, that's your big, hairy, audacious goals, how to set SMART goals and create your personal business standard, the strategy to uncover your why so you stay consistent. This is another reason why people quit, is because they don't know why they need to stay. So we need people to get their why done. We put it right on the dashboard of Teamzy, so it's always there to remind you. And then a little bit more training on relationship marketing. That's all included, which is pretty cool. And also, we are proud to be endorsed by Xyngular Corporate. For those of you who don't know that, we have an arrangement with you to give you special pricing. So Teamzy, normal price, Teamzy is $1 a day, $29.99 a month for a monthly subscription. But for Xyngular distributors, it's $19.95 a month. It's a third off. It's pretty cool. It's like 60 cents a day. So when I used to tell people that they had to hire an assistant, you got one for 60 cents. Pretty cool. You can't even buy a pretzel for 60 cents anymore. That's crazy. If you want to do it annually, you can get even more discounts, $198 a year, as opposed to $300. So great deals there. Definitely want to lock in the Xyngular pricing. Let me give you some action steps and then we'll jump to Q&A. So if you're not already using Teamzy, go to teamzy.com/Xyngular, get your 15-day your free trial started. Okay, get your free trial started. If you're already in a free trial, set up your subscription. Just get it set up so that you don't miss a beat when the trial ends, okay? For those of you who are going into start a free trial, there's like this thing that'll pop up if you decide you like it and you want to, in the first 24 hours, if you set up your subscription, you actually get another training suite free, which is a pretty good deal. I also want you guys to join the community Facebook group, Teamzy community Facebook group. When you get into your Teamzy on the left nav, you'll see community, click it, and it'll take you right to that group and join it. It's an amazing community in there where you can ask questions and connect with other people using Teamzy. And I also highly recommend you get a success partner just for 30 days to do Teamzy with you. Success partners are super effective. We do this in our boot camps. It works so great because you can sign up for a free trial and kind of blow it off. But if you have a success partner relying on hearing from you, that accountability will help you get amazing things done. So here's what I want you to do with your success partner. I want you to, when you finish working in Teamzy for the day on your power hour, I want you to screenshot it. Just take a screenshot of it and message it to your partner. Done with my power hour. Now, you may not get 100%, because it tells you how much percent you finished. You might not get 100% the first few weeks. That's okay. But maybe you got 70%. Maybe you got 80%. Take a screenshot of that and send it over to your partner. And what'll happen is your partner who hasn't done diddly squat today is going to be super irritated with you. But that'll force them to go in and do their power hour. They'll send it back to you. You guys could have the best month ever with a success partner. So I highly recommend you do that. Plus, it's fun. It's fun to have somebody on board with you. Teams of 3 success partners, 3 people success teams, really effective too. Really effective too. And then the last action step, I'm going to give you a 5-day challenge. 5-day challenge is connect with 100 people over 5 days. Now, this is a lot, right? 20 a day. And it can be, this is not just prospects, it's prospects, customers, and team members, just messaging 20 people a day for 5 days. The reason why I'm challenging you to do this is because it will absolutely blow your mind. You will create so much momentum in 5 days. You won't be able to believe it. Some of you will be cursing my name. You'll be like, I can't believe it. He blew up my life, just to make a point. But I want you guys to know this. You haven't gone through your warm market. It's not possible. It's not a slow time of year. There are things happening. You can create momentum at any point in your business. You do a little blitz like this, it will blow your mind. It takes away all the stories that you hear. And as leaders, when people tell you those stories, those same stories you've heard repeated over and over, what happens is people say these stories on team calls. New people believe this is true. Oh, I could go through my warm market. Oh, there could be slow times. No, slow times means you haven't been consistent. Does this make sense? So who's in for the 5-day challenge? Let me see your hands. Okay, public accountability, it's strong, it's important. You guys will be amazed at what you do. I'm just telling you, as a business coach, so many times where people say, revenue's down, I'll say, okay, pull up the reports from 3 months ago. Let me see what you're doing. Oh, you didn't log any connects for 3 weeks, 3 months ago. That's why you're slow. Make sense? It's about consistency. And there is a 90-day trail. Your business trails 90 days. So if you're super active right now for this month, you'll see in a couple months. I mean, you'll get business now, but it really builds. It really builds over 90 days. So whenever you guys take a few weeks off, you can look ahead in your calendar and save your money that month. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Eric, it's Cora. Listen, I just want to tell everybody that this system right here, I know I've posted it in here, but when I started this system, I was a silver director, 30,000 points. When I started consistently using Teamzy, I hit platinum director. That's 50,000 points. So that was in February. The last time we spoke in February, I was a silver director. In May, consistently using Teamzy, I hit executive 100,000 points. So I grew 70,000 points in 3 months or whatever it is. So anyways, that's all I got to say about that. So, and I've consistently grown, you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. I mean, this is by far, if you just exactly what you're saying. I mean, it's funny because just being consistent, that's my thing, the little things over and over again. And this is the secret sauce. And you're a major, you are instrumental in why I'm where I am today. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm so glad to hear that. And you guys heard it from her mouth. I mean, that is a mic drop moment, right? How many of you guys want to see that result yourself? So $19.95 a month, write it off your taxes, but don't just buy it. I mean, I'll take your money. I appreciate that. And I'm grateful, but I want you guys I want to hear this story for you. I want to hear this story for you. I want you guys to get in there and do it. This is something everyone can do. If you guys, some of you were on my webinar last night, I talked about how only about 3 to 5% of people are wired for the go for no, slam the list approach. And that's why this industry has always been about looking for those special people who are going to do it. This is something everybody can do. Everybody can build relationships. They can be authentic. They can be real. They can connect with people in this way. And it's the consistency that builds it. Does that make sense? It's the consistency. So I really encourage you guys. Hopefully this was really helpful tonight. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. But I just want you to know, hearing Cora's story like made my day. And every time I hear a story like that, it makes my day, because that's why I'm here. And you guys are the same way, right? With your customers, it makes your day when they succeed with your products. So I want to just say welcome to the Teamzy family. Hopefully we'll be able to be part of all your success stories too. So thanks for having me tonight, Cora. I really appreciate it. God bless you guys. All right. Have a great night, everyone. And I will send you the recording tomorrow when I have it rendered.
Eric, I have one question.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't do questions. I didn't do any questions.
Sorry, can keep me quiet.
No, I need to do questions. It's okay.
Yeah, so here's some confession time too, because Cora and I had some discussion about it. You know, yeah, we signed up for Teamzy. Yeah, it was great. And then, you know, fell off the wagon.
Mhm.
Maybe for whatever reasons. But then we realized, hey, you know what? It was a great thing. Why aren't we getting back to it? So this is one of the things that we were discussing just this last week. So what my questions are to you, and is wondering, do I have to do since I have not done a lot of new inputs, would I want to re-input my contacts, and how would that work? What would be the best way so I'm not duplicating? Because I've been down that road with other things. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so Teamzy doesn't duplicate if they have the same name. So if you wanted to re-import your team, it would just bring the new people in, right? So I would do it in this order: team, then customers, then any social media lists you want to import. It'll just bring in the new people. Okay, so that's that. But you're right. Every single person, I only know a handful of people who have stayed consistent with Teamzy year over year over year. Everybody I know that long-term Teamzy members, they do great and then they fall and then they come back. They do this all the time. They're like, I got your email, that I jumped on your webinar. I'm back. I needed this. Thanks, Eric. It's human. It's human.
Thank you for making me feel better.
Yeah. So give yourself grace. But when you want to build your business, you come back to what works. And
But how do you reload those people?
You just do it exactly the way you did it the first time. And Teamzy there's instructions. There on the help center, there's specific instructions on everything, how to do each list. But you do it the same way, and Teamzy just adds the new people, if that makes sense. If you, just so you know, Sherry, if you get intimidated by this,
I'm really struggling with this.
No,
I've blown through at least my 30-day trial and couldn't figure it out. Kind of blew it off. Now I'm back.
Okay.
I have all my people loaded from December and now I don't know where to go.
So what I recommend you do is get a one-on-one Zoom with my team. If you go to your Teamzy dashboard, you look at the top, you can click on schedule a one-on-one. You get it. It's just a Calendly link. You'll get a Zoom link, and somebody on my team will come on with you one-on-one. They can walk you through any of it.
Okay.
Okay. So book an appointment. Okay. Sometimes people need multiple of these appointments. It's something that we do that most others don't do. There's no customer service for any technology, right? There's a chat line with somebody in India. We don't have that. We have real people. So you get on a Zoom, they'll walk you through it. Like I said, I built this for people who you don't need to master technology. We just need to help you use the tool so you can get after connecting with people. Does that make sense? So I have people that are like, I have no idea. I need to learn how to do imports in Teamzy. You don't need to learn how to do imports in Teamzy. You have to do it once. If you need our team to do it for you, great. You don't need to learn it. You just need to get it in, whether it's us, whether it's you, so you can get to using it, if that makes sense. So be encouraged. If you guys are struggling, our team will help you. If you don't have to go on a one-on-one Zoom. You can just email questions and they'll send them back. There's a little help button that floats around the bottom of Teamzy. Our team will answer those. They're really great. And then we have, for those of you who are very help kind of, we have a help center that has tons of FAQs and videos and things too that you can dig through. So I know I said God bless you and goodbye, but I forgot to take questions. So let me take some questions. Brenda, do you have a question? I see you waving your arms at me.
Okay, so I'm one of those people that was on the Teamzy train and I hit director and then I fell off. And I'm the biggest cheerleader for this, and then whatever happened. So the first thing is in the power hour, the prospects, customers, distributors.
Yep.
So the prospects, you're just connecting. You don't schedule a follow-up, right?
Correct.
You're just touching,
Yep.
feeling. Yeah.
Don't schedule a follow-up unless you share, because they're going to come back automatically.
Okay.
Okay, so no, I'm glad you asked that. I know you have more questions, but let me just say one more thing, because this is going to help everyone else on the call too. If you start setting follow-ups for them, then it stops flowing. Then they're all on the follow-ups list. And then what happens is, and this is going to hit a few of you between the eyes. You're like, I have 347 follow-ups due. I'm overwhelmed. I stopped following up with people. Does this make sense? Yeah.
That's a cool list.
So you want to use that follow-ups list is like special. That is like special to get on the follow-ups list. I look at it as that's your pipeline. Those are the people, that is business that is close to happening. Does this make sense? Now it's different if somebody says, check in with me on Friday when I get paid. So you put them on the follow-ups list for Friday. I mean, you're going to use that for those things, but for staying in touch with people, just let them flow based on their stars. So 5 stars are every 30 days, 4 stars are every 60 days, 3 stars every 30 days. Does this make sense? So yeah. Especially Brenda, if you reach out to me and I don't respond, now you're going to follow up on my no response. The people do this though. He didn't respond. So I need to follow up, see if you got my message. It's like, no, I don't think, if you don't respond to me, look, I reached out to 20 people, 10 of them responded. I'm busy talking to those 10. I don't have time to think about the people who don't respond. You're coming back in Teamzy in 30, 60 days. I'll message you again if you're lucky. Right?
Right there is why I jumped off, because I was about hitting follow-up and I would go in and that number kept getting bigger and I got overwhelmed and I'm like, you know.
Yeah. Let me show you guys a quick tool real quick before you ask me your second question. If you have a lot of follow-ups, you go into Teamzy, you go to the team page.
Hey guys, can we mute so we can hear Eric?
Yeah, mute if you're not asking me a question. Go into the team page. Here, I can figure out who it is and mute them. Hold on.
Only a few cookies left from Friday.
Nope.
Well,
I found her. Hold on.
That's wonderful. You can freeze.
Got her. Okay. So you go into right here, you come into tools. We're on the team page, click on tools, and there is a special tool, follow-up contacts. See that right there?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is pretty cool because you can bulk remove all your follow-ups. You can just say, oh, well, I'm just going to take out Amy and Danelle. Or you can take out all of them and start over. You can just click remove all follow-ups. Look at that. And it will bulk remove all of them, clear the whole list. You can start over. How cool is that?
That just made my day.
Yep. And so we built that tool specifically because people would get behind and it causes a paralysis. And I would rather you let all those follow-ups go back into the Teamzy flow because they're not going to go that long before you hit them again. Right?
Okay.
But keep you moving. Keep you moving.
So then the customers, we're just connecting unless there's something they say or ask to be followed up with, or we just do our regular Xyngular follow-up.
Just what I recommend is you just stay in touch. You just stay in touch. Hey, just checking in. How's everything going? How are you enjoying the products? Are you having a great day? Just being present with them.
Is this where I can use a tag? Like say if they're on an 8-day jumpstart and we need to, I can do 8-day jumpstart.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk to them in 8 days, put them on your follow-up list. That's fine.
Okay, because we usually talk to them like day 1, day 3, day 9. Okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna set. We program this just for you guys for Xyngular. You can set all 4 of those follow-ups when you make the sale. So you can go in and set all 4 of those follow-ups for that person right then. But after you've got them through that program, then you can drop them into the regular customer flow.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, well, now that we've gotten them through that, now I'm going to put you on a 30-day cycle for a while, or I'm checking in on 30-day cycles, and then maybe you'll back it off to 60 days because you don't need to be. But what happens is when you're in regular contact with customers, they will engage in conversation. The other thing that happens is if you are active on social media and you're sharing on social media, people will go to your social media every time you message them, even if they don't respond. So people will go, oh my gosh, I saw you guys got, pink lemonade flavor last week. Or what was it last summer? It was peach, right? Was it peach last summer?
Peach, orange, pineapple.
Yeah. So it's like, I saw that you're posting it. I want to get some of that. So all you said was hi, but they're interacting. Does this make sense? So it's just by being present and being engaged. And then of course, when you get for those of you guys who do, some of you guys, I see in the names, some of you have signed up for the boot camp, right? And you guys are in the boot camp. Awesome. So one of the things we're going to specifically teach in that boot camp is how to do a new product release and how to strategically use your Teamzy lists and your tag lists to do new product release, which is great because one of the things that's really cool about Xyngular is you guys always either have new products or special. Other companies don't do that. So you can use that technique all the time, which is really cool. And it's a great way to boost sales. So does that help, Brenda? Did you have more? Did I answer all of them? Do you have more?
Just one more. It's in the power hour still, the distributors. So we reach out to them and contact them. Now, I have a lot of my downlines distributors in there.
Yeah.
So should I just go ahead and contact all of them or see if their leader is doing it? Like
here's what I recommend you do. Now, if you have a real small team, you might find that you're connecting with everybody and that's okay. But as your team grows, what I recommend you do is you keep your first level people, everyone you've personally sponsored in Teamzy, and then you keep leaders. Does that make sense? Yep. So leaders and emerging leaders. So they could be 10 levels down, but if they're an emerging leader, you put them in your Teamzy because you want to support them. Does that make sense? And so what I've done, like, for example, with friends with large teams, they're like, I don't even know where to start. Who do I put in Teamzy to start? What I've said is, you put in all of your first level people, then put in all of the leaders at whatever leadership level you choose, right? Maybe it's directors or whatever. You put them in there. And then what you do is you say, like, once a quarter when you're meeting you should be having meetings with those people anyways. If you do a leadership meeting, you meet with your leaders and you say, okay, guys, if you've got any hot new people that are coming onto the team that you want me to put in my Teamzy and stay in touch with, send me their names. And so your leaders can then recommend people to put in your Teamzy, and it's just like amazing, right? When they get that message from the top leaders. Does that make sense? So that's kind of your plan as you grow. Mm-hmm. Now, when you're, and I don't know where your business is, Brenda. I don't know where you're at, but just so we help as many people. When you're kind of new and you're building your team and you're trying to rank up and stuff, it's a lot of times you're doing the work 3 levels deep. You're doing all the work, right? So you got a new person and they've got people, but really you brought those people and you helped get their friends in and you did all the work and you closed them and you're mentoring them. So sometimes you might be a few levels deep in your business because you're actually the person that's creating all of that momentum, and that's okay too. Does that make sense? So if it's just downline that you don't know, you don't have to keep them in Teamzy.
If I put a different star rating, even though they're listed it as a distributor, but they'll say they're 5 levels down, if I give them like 2 stars, will they not come up as much as a 5-star distributor?
Correct. 2-star will come up every 120 days.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
And the other thing is you can actually put them, you can actually click that they are personally sponsored or that they're just downline.
Oh, okay.
So those are different sorts that you can do on them.
I've missed you.
And tag, and what I would do is I would tag them as this is Sally's team, just Sally's team or whatever, just tag however you want. You make up your own tags, but so that when they come up on your dashboard and you're like, who's that? Oh, that's Sally's team, right? You can send.
You can pull people up by the tags.
You can pull people up by tags. The tag makes a list. So if you grab a tag in the team page, it gives you everyone with that tag. But when somebody comes up on your dashboard, you click on details and it'll show you all the tags that you've assigned to that person.
I've assigned a lot of tags. I just didn't know.
Yeah. And so it's cool because like if you're checking in with a customer and you're such a stud that you have so many customers, you don't remember their products, but you tagged them. So when they come up on the dashboard and you want to send them a quick message, you look at the tags and you go, oh, okay, great. They use this product. So how's it going with this? That makes sense?
Mhm.
The tag, but then the tag is really cool because if somebody's using a product and you guys come out with a new flavor, you can grab it, you can hit the tag, get everyone who's bought that product. And now you can message everyone with that product and say, I know you love this product, but we just came out with a new flavor. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And
Thank you so much.
and it's just a quick text. Hey, I don't know if you saw my post today on Facebook. I know you got this product, but I just want to let you know we got a new flavor. Excited about it. Let me know if you'd like more info. Boom. And you could just copy and paste that down everyone with that tag for the day and be done. And you'd be amazed how many people are like, cool, yeah, sign me up or get me some, switch my order, right? So it's avocado on the cheeseburger.
Do we get to make that sound too?
You can make that sound. I make that sound. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. All right. Any other questions?
I have one question too. And then Tanya, sorry.
Okay.
There's an app we can use on our phone now?
It's just a mobile website. It works great on the phone though.
Okay, I'll
So
figure that out.
if you're on an iPhone, just go to Safari
Okay,
and go to Teamzy and log in. Once you've logged in, you can save it to your home screen. So it's like you just touch it and it logs and it goes.
okay.
Yeah, and then you just toggle. So it's super easy to use on the phone because once you've opened it in Safari, you can toggle, like, let's say you've got your Facebook app, your texting app, your whatever messaging apps you have. You might have 3 or 4 different ways you communicate with people on your phone. It's all on your phone. So you come up, boom, I grab the script with my thumb, I toggle over to Facebook, I send it, and I can just toggle back and forth. You know, like the iPhone, you just slide your finger up from the bottom and it toggles apps and it takes you right back to the page you were at. It's really great.
Oh, I'm gonna do that. Okay.
Android also.
And if you're on Android, then you just do it the same thing, but it would be on Chrome. If you would just go to Chrome and log in.
All right, just a quick question. So really the longest part of this is kind of doing the stars for your people. Like when you put your list in. So like figuring out, that's really like the longest part of this, honestly.
Yeah.
The
So
beginning.
yeah, but keep in mind, Tanya, that everybody you put in is going to default to 3 stars.
Oh,
And
okay,
80 to 90% of your list will stay 3-star.
okay.
So what you're going to do is you can go, let me show you how to do it. Go to Teamzy real quick.
I'm so glad you're going over this, Eric, because that was one of the things that I kind of got crippled with. Like I was overthinking, giving them their star rating.
Yeah. So you just want to, don't overthink it. You just want to go from the gut quickly from the beginning. And the star rating is how comfortable you are connecting with them.
Okay.
Okay. So,
All right.
So what you're going to do is I'm on the team page. And when you're here, go to this little menu. See these 3 dots right here? Click on that and click rank mode. See right there? Just toggle that on. And that now turns everybody's stars on.
Okay.
So now what I'm going to do is all I want to do is find my 5 and 4-star people. So leave everybody at 3 stars. And when you see somebody you really like, rank them up. If you see somebody you don't like at all, drop them in the trash can.
Sweet.
You'll get both. You'll get both. You'll have both. But as you go through this, don't overthink it. You can do this on your phone while you're sitting on the couch, watching Netflix, whatever. Don't overthink. People get stuck here. And this is important though, because if you don't rank, the people that are the hottest, you might not even message for months. Does that make sense? So you want to start with the people who trust you first. For those of you who are on the webinar last night, I told you about the time that I messaged 43 people and they all responded, right? And 1/3 of them closed by the end of the month. Like, how many of you guys want that to happen? But I didn't just randomly message people. I messaged the 43 people I liked best. Does that make sense? I started with the best people. It's like, well, you can't see it, but right outside my home used to be a citrus farm. So every house, we all have a little piece of the original grove. So I've got a little grove of 60-year-old lemon trees right outside the window. So some of those trees are full of fruit and some are not, right? The thing about citrus in California is that it's constantly making fruit. So if I was going to go out right now because you guys wanted me to make fresh mojitos for you or something, or lemonade, depending on who we're talking to, I would go to the tree full of fruit, right? I wouldn't go to the tree that has beautiful flowers, but no fruit. Now, on the way to the tree with fruit, I might throw a little water on that tree, maybe some fertilizer, because I know down the road it's going to make me fruit, but I'm going to go to the tree with fruit first. Your relationships are the same way. You're going to go to the people who trust you the most first, because they're most likely to be interested. Does that make sense? It's also easier to get some momentum going when you're talking to people who are excited to hear from you. So that's why it's important to get your 5 and 4-star people done. And again, just from the gut. And what'll happen is you'll message somebody, like let's say I make Tanya a 5-star, I message her, we have a little chit chat. She comes up again in 30 days. And I'm like, I feel like I just talked to her. Maybe she's not a 5-star. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll drop you to 4-star and let another month go by before I message you again. So you're going to go with your gut based on how if it feels like it's too frequent, maybe you just drop them a star. Does that make sense? But here's the thing about ranking. I know I used my tree analogy already. I look at it like this. Imagine moving into your dream home and you've got this gorgeous kitchen. Do you guys all have an imagination for what your gorgeous kitchen is going to be in your dream home? You move into this dream home, the movers bring in boxes, because in your dream home, you're not moving your own boxes, right? Movers bring all the boxes in, they drop them in the kitchen, and you're exhausted, so you go to bed. You're overwhelmed, like Teamzy, ranking people, so you go to bed. In the morning, it's time for breakfast. What do? You got to dig through a box to find a frying pan. You got to dig through another box to find a spatula. You got to dig through another box to find a plate. How many meals are you going to deal with before you unpack those boxes and set up your dream kitchen? And Teamzy is the same thing. This is your business. This is like the dream kitchen of your business. You need to unpack the plates and put them away so that you can just get in the kitchen and work. Does it make sense? Otherwise, that's what it's like. You're constantly picking through your relationships. It's kind of like just a more advanced version of those notepads that are laying all over the house. So we want to get it organized. So just rip the Band-Aid off, spend a couple hours getting it done, get it done, right? And 30 minutes a day for a few days, whatever. But again, you don't have to rank everybody. You just want to scan looking for those best people so they prioritize first. Okay. All right, let's take one more question because I need to go get my kids, put them in their beds. Some of you do too, right? And do we have one more? See, now you feel bad because I said that. Oh, he's got to get his kids. I'll just ask help desk. Okay. Bottom line is,
I think, Mom,
all of these problems are overcomable. All the challenges, you guys can overcome these challenges. You have everything you need to be successful in this business. Teamzy is a tool that's going to help. It's going to help you be successful. You got to use it though. And we're here to help. There's people here to help. Look around right now at people on this team, decide who's going to be your success partner. Connect, say, let's do this. Let's run together for a month. Let's hold each other accountable. You'd be amazed. For some of you, now I know some of you are already in the boot camp. I'm just gonna toss this out there. For any of you who are like, man, this is exactly what I need. I really want to commit for the next couple of months and really run. You should take a look at the boot camp. Okay. Our boot camp is 6 weeks. It's in registration's open this week. It closes next Monday. You won't be able to register after next Monday. And we're going to start at the end of this month. For 6 weeks, we're going to run together in the boot camp. And it's just a structured 6 weeks training where you get a training from myself and my partner, my business partner and mentor, Mike Lopez, 2 trainings a week. And we have a private mastermind group with tons of accountability. I know some of you guys have taken it. Take a look at it. Go to teamzy.com/bootcamp to get more info. And if you really want to run for the next 6 weeks, for some of you, that's going to be a great option. It's really affordable too. We've dropped the price on it in the COVID world and made it really affordable this year. So for some of you guys, take a look at that, and we'd love to have you in our boot camp as well. You'll be a real Teamzy master by the end of that. Okay. Now I'm going to say goodnight. Appreciate you guys spending some time with me. Thank you for having me back, Cora. I really hope this is your year. We're excited to have you in our Teamzy family. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Bye,
it.
everyone.
Thank you.